Long time no see, everyone. Hisashiburi, tanto tiempo sin verte. It's your old Major Cargon back at it again. This time with a look at one of my grails, the Yohji Yamamoto Cherevich-Kyovichki Autumn Winter 20 mock-up boots. Also, apologies if there's a lot of weird noise. It's very, very windy outside. It is the first day of spring and it's windy. Windy. So grails are a bit of a funny thing, and throughout my fashion journey experience that I've been through, there've been a few that have come and gone, some that have still lingered around, but one that I've always been curious about is getting like a very, very nice pair of shoes. And I know that when you're getting into, this whole more towards higher fashion, towards then like avant-garde, maybe even artisanal, it is very, very easy to fall into the trap. And it's not like a bad thing, but of being like, oh, I really, really want to get a pair of Guidis, or I really, really want to really want a pair of like CCP Tornadoes. There are these shoes that are very, very highly regarded. And yeah, honestly, they are very hyped up as things that you want for your wardrobe because it reflects that image of, I am into this, look how into this I am. And again, this is not a bad thing. This is just how a lot of fashion stuff is. In the end, we all end up sort of moving towards things that signify our interest in these subcultures within the broader spectrum of fashion. That's just how it is. Now, over time, I did find myself looking at a lot of Guidis. I really wanted a pair of the PL2s, the ones with like a front zip and the really high block heel. But I did end up coming across a collaboration that has been going for quite a few years now. But the one that stood out to me was from the Autumn Winter 20 collection, where there was this pair of boots that had this really interesting look to them. They didn't look too wild. They didn't look too dull. A sort of in between. And I did end up finding a couple of pairs floating around on Medcuddy. And through this, I did notice that they were listed as Yohji and also a name that I'd never seen, which was Cherevich-Kyovichki, one that I'm still not 100% sure on how to pronounce. So I'm very, very sorry. They should be like, that YouTube channel that shows how to pronounce. English is actually my second language, so please bear with me. Pronounce words would be very, very helpful to have Cherevich-Kyovichki in there. But to go from their website, which I did do a little bit more research on them, and it seemed like a lot of websites would just repost what's on the Cherevich-Kyovichki website itself. But we have here, the impossible to pronounce Cherevich-Kyovichki stands for a shoe by Victoria in the old Slavic language, but said in a playful, childish manner. So Victoria came from Lithuania and now has a creative studio in London and an atelier in Italy. Cherevich-Kyovichki are known for making bags as well as shoes, also clothing as well, but it seems like their bags and shoes are the big standouts there. They are all handmade by artisans and have a lot of work that goes into them. They're truly beautiful pieces. And for those getting interested in it, like on the secondhand market, not the most sought after brand. So you can find some interesting things at very good prices. But I love this final line here that says that Cherevich-Kyovichki is a ceremonial invitation into the maker's world. To take a peek at her youth, visit playgrounds and places in search of secrets hidden, but not forgotten. It's pretty interesting little write-up on the label itself and their sort of like outlook and ethos, but I haven't had a lot of experience with finding other pieces from them. There seems to be a shop in Melbourne that sometimes stocks their shoes, which would be worth checking out. It's called Scarlett Jones, if anyone is familiar. They are actually a very cool shop. I really need to go by there. It's just on the other side of town. But this led me to finding the mock-up boots. And this is kind of where things, go wrong as they usually do. I looked at the sizing and determined that size 42 was the size for me. Because a lot of Yohji shoes I have gotten in size 3, which is smaller than my regular size, but they do fit because a lot of Yohji shoes, the majority of Yohji shoes fit quite big. Anyway, I did spend the most I've spent on a pair of shoes, on these shoes that arrived. They arrived. They are these ones here. They are basically new in just such immaculate condition. And I couldn't get my foot in. Yeah. The battle continues with trying to make things happen. So I couldn't get my foot in, and it's basically because of the entry spiral zip here. It doesn't open as wide as usual side zip shoes would, and I have a very weird instep, so I just genuinely cannot get my foot in. They are the correct size. They are the right size, but I can't get my foot in. So the search began for a 43. I eventually found a 43, spent almost as much money on the size 43 because I was determined to get a pair that fit. And this is the size 43 pair that I've got. They are a lot more beat up because I do wear these a lot, but I can get my foot in, but I need to use a shoehorn. And that's why I always have a shoehorn. I have a keyring shoehorn that helps with this kind of thing. But yes, shoehorns, they are amazing. You should definitely invest in one. They really, really do not cost a lot of money. I got mine at Kmart for like less than $10. So change your life, change your life. It'll change your life. Trust me. So I got them, I appreciated them, and I don't know why it's taking me so long to make a video on them, but let's look at them in a bit more detail because the whole experience with them is very, very lovely. The 43 ones did not arrive in a box, but the 42 ones came with all the bells and whistles that you would get if you bought a new pair of shoes. So I'd really like to show that off because it's quite lovely. So let's get into it. Let's look at these shoes. So here is the box that they come in. I'm not sure whether the light's going to pick it up, but on the front, it does have Yohji and Cherevich on there. Here, it's very, very faint to see. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up. But what's cool about this box is on the side here, we can see there's a listing. We have the product code there, but we can also see that we have a bunch of information about the shoe here. And it includes things like it says that it is, sorry, it's very, very faint. But the model number is YY48. The date is June 2020. The description is the mock-up boot, which is the name of the shoe. Material is calf nubuck, color black, size 42, and the construction is a Goodyear welt. It's very cool to have that information just on the box. I really, really appreciate that detail. And we also have the product code, which I will put on screen and also in the description in case you are looking for a pair too. We then get into the opening of the box. Box is in a bit nicked condition. We have a bunch of things in here, including we do have the tag, including the original price. And this is interesting because original prices of things are never seemingly what the prices are in retail. Usually things abroad are marked up quite significantly because of, taxes, shipping, rent that needs to be paid, a lot of things. But these are tagged at 135,000 yen, which would be like $1,350 if we're assuming 1-to-1. But realistically, then you got to pay taxes on top of that, would be a bunch more money, but that's what's listed on the tag here. Put on the other side, and then a tag here that says that water and friction may cause discoloration. Avoid wearing it together with light socks. Walk with care on the slippery place, tile blocks, stone, wood, etc. So that makes sense. I'll show you the size 43 ones because the original soles are just this sort of flat looking thing here. Usually people get a Vibram sole on them like these 42 ones have had as well. We then have another very, very lovely piece of information, a little info card with care instructions. Cherovich Kavitsky for Yoji Yamamoto. All our products have been made by hand in the region of Marche, Italy. Most of our materials were dyed or treated individually, resulting in creations that vary from one another. Due to the delicate nature of the pigments used, slight fading may occur. Please take care when using dark-colored leather items as the color may transfer slightly. Store all leather items away from direct sunlight and heat. Please feel free to contact us for any specific care advice, and there's an email there to get in touch with them as well, should you want to. Never had like a care instructions card. This is just really special. I really, really like that. Next, we have dust bag, branded there as well. A pretty neat little feature. Doesn't look like it's been used at all. And then we have the boots themselves. Now, I was so shocked when these ones arrived because though they do have, some slight creasing here and there, they look to be in such incredible condition. Love the tall shaft, love the little pocket detail on the side there. I guess, put some type of card in there, a vape, if that's your prerogative. And then we see some really lovely, interesting details of the shoe itself. It's like multiple pieces of leather covering each other. So we can see the shaft here, the card tag section there. And then when we turn it around, the middle part, sort of squishing it so you can see it, is like both sides cover an inner section here. As you can see, there's like the little tongue part, but there's a little gap in between where they're both covering. And then we have like an asymmetrical cutout in this section here. Now that cutout actually serves a very interesting, utilitarian purpose, because when you're walking in the shoe, this is what bends like that. That sort of helps articulate the bending of the shoe in movement. Whereas if it was all one line, you'd end up with like different effects, but that does serve a purpose, which is pretty cool. So this is like layered leather on each other. It seems like this middle tongue section though, when feeling it, does actually end just here, and then the rest is just like a single piece. Then we come further down across the front and see that the layers also sort of have asymmetrical finishes. One comes around and heads towards the bottom of the shoe, whereas the other one loops around and has that cutout there as well. The toe is a rounded toe. It's not too pointy at all. It looks very chic. And just the shine and everything, they're just a very, very cool pair of shoes. Next up, we'll look at the zip entry. Let me just put the box down. So the zip entry, we have this sort of spirally zip section. It is not a straight down. It does come across to the middle of the heel, and there is the opening there. So it is funny when they talk about the transfer of colors and things, because across every pair that I've seen, you do see markings on the inside as well. These do still have like tissue paper in them to hold shape. The zips, where are you? Have this lovely like tassel of extra leather there. They are YKK zips on either shoe. And then let's look at the sole of them. And as I mentioned earlier, and as said in the warnings, that they are a bit slippery, but the previous owner for these ones did put this really lovely Vibram number on both. And if we see even closer, you can see how it is nailed in. And then the Cherovich Kavitsky and Yoji logos put in there on the wooden part of the sole, and then the sizing 42 there. Looking at them both together, we can see that they basically do match perfectly. With like, I really like how these asymmetrical like cutouts there are symmetrical when you have both the shoes together. That's a really, really neat effect. And just in great condition. Like, again, so shocked. It's just like got some wrinkles here and there, but it's not like they are wrecked or damaged. Soles are in good nick, everything. You can see, and you can also then see the welts on both of them as well, going around the entire way. You can also see part of the stitching on the sole here too. Just a fantastic pair of boots. Like, I'm so lucky to have been able to find a pair because they don't come up as often as you'd think. And not only that, with the sizing, I guess for me being a bit odd, I was very lucky to be able to find a size 43 when the size 42 didn't fit. So very, very blessed. And it's pretty wild to have a pair of, artisanally made handheld boots in the arsenal as well. I don't wear them all the time, but they have gotten more comfortable over time. So at first, yeah, I have really wide feet. They were not the most comfortable thing ever. I still need a shoehorn to get into them. That hasn't gotten any easier. However, wearing them for, say, longer than a few hours at a time has progressively got better as they've gotten adjusted to my feet. So at first, after a few hours, just uncomfortable. Now can go out all day, all night in them and it's so windy. Now I can go all night and all day in them and it still not feel like any sort of fatigue in my feet, besides having been out for all day and all night sort of thing. That makes sense, right? A quick look at my pair that I've been wearing. You can see there's a lot more like transfer on the inside. Overall, they are a lot more worn down. I suppose this is a good example of like looking at how they can compare. I'll grab one of the other ones so you can see a less worn pair compared to my pair. So this is my pair in 43. This is the other pair in 42. We can see that, my pair is a lot less shiny. There's a lot more wrinkles going on and scuffs and things here and there. But overall, they're looking pretty good, honestly. I haven't compared them before. You can just see as well, like, the difference in the wrinkles. Like my pair here, you can see how much I've been using them, that these stacks have been forming compared to this one, which hasn't been used as much. And that's part of the joy of wearing shoes, right? They mold to your foot. You can see here, got some more creasing compared to this one. And overall, like comparing them, they're in excellent shape. I will need to eventually take these ones to get the soles just cleaned up and maybe just an overall cleanup as well. But I'm genuinely surprised at how well they are holding up. I'm just inspecting. It's just like wear and tear. There's like little nicks on the sole there, scuffs and things, but there's not really any sort of structural damage. Nothing seems to be coming apart. They're just so well made, but yeah. Worn, not really worn. Choose your fighter. A word of note though, the size 42 ones are actually for sale. So if you're interested, you can look me up on Grailed, find me wherever I may be selling things and nab yourself that pair, because as lovely as it is having them, I genuinely cannot get my foot in those. And so they deserve to be with someone that's going to actually wear them and appreciate them. I'm not just going to, I get them in like a plastic case and just admire a pair of shoes. But yeah, moving on. How do they look like on foot? Well, let's have a look at these shoes on foot. I'll put on my pair, so they're the ones that actually fit me. And then I'll also share some fits where I've worn them as well and see what you think. All right, let's go. right, so that's a look at the Cherevich Krivitsky Yoji Yamamoto mock-up boots on foot, and also a few fits with them as well. So you can sort of see how I have been styling them. What do you think about them? I love these shoes a lot. Not an everyday shoe. Like if I have to be doing something where shoes have the potential to be scuffed, I will not wear these. But if I'm, say, working in the office and not on a shoot, I do wear them to work. I do wear them to walk around town. It's wild to like actually have a Grail shoe. Something that is very special to me. And, you know, I hope that as well in future you're able to achieve one of your Grails as well and appreciate them. And also not end up with 2 pairs. I hate my feet. It's so annoying. Most of this channel is just me complaining about how shoes don't fit me. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Discord link in there. There are some other people that do have different pairs from the ongoing collection, so you can ask them for info as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, have fun, be safe, and as always, don't do anything I'd do except take your foot measurements to like athlete's foot or something, or a place where they can give you more information, because don't be like me. Don't do what I did. But then that would be doing something that I didn't do. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, you'll take care. Kyotsukete. See you next time. Bye-bye.